Hey, I'm Danny Desatnik, and this is a conversation with not just one, but 6 underrated creators. It comes from an experience that had to be one of my favorite experiences of the first half of 2023. We ran Creator Culture Live at hashtag Paid's Meet the Creator party back in April. We had 5 or 6 amazing conversations. It was 3.5 hours total with over, I think over 20 creators jumped on the mic at one point or another. And the most interesting thing about it was that I didn't prep. I didn't know who was going to come on the podcast. I had asked a couple people beforehand to say, hey, throughout the night, jump on for 25, 30 minutes. But at the end of the day, I was trying to find people with things to say, people who were having great conversations at the event and they wanted to share. And so this is a conversation with 6 creators. It was one of the 5. Definitely was the biggest lineup of the night. We had Mallory Rowan. We had Spencer Barbosa. We had Sahar Dahi. We had Brianna Renee. And we also had the 2 guys that make up the Jumpers Jump podcast, Gavin and Carlos. We talked about achieving your dreams and what happens when you far surpass your dreams. We talked about discipline. We talked about the value of school. We talked about going to other influencer events, and we talked about some of our favorite songs. And so this was one of my favorite conversations of the night. And so I'm really excited that you get to hear it, because we didn't know if we were going to release this, but we are doing it now. And enough out of me. I want you to hear this. So let's get to the good stuff. Here's my conversation with these 6 underrated creators. And I have to say, all are Canadian, and 5 out of 6 are from Toronto. Shout out Toronto. Here's my conversation with those creators. You've just got amazing creators lined up. I don't even know what to
The best
I don't even know what to
creators
ask you guys.
You're amazing, bro.
What are you? Yeah,
No,
We're here
no.
for you. We're here for you, bro.
You should be nervous, to be honest. We're just such an amazing group of people. This should be the
She's
most
a
honor.
narcissist.
A little bit.
How are you coming back under the influence for a second time? They really like you?
They love me.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. You'll see why by the end of this.
All right. Tell me, let's start off like this. What is one conversation any of you have had tonight that like either hit you deeply or like got you excited or got you thinking? Or I'm just going to throw out like a lot of options and we'll just dive in.
Yeah.
Or what's something you've been thinking about recently? It could be creators, it could be life, it could be whatever. That's like either got you in your feels, got you excited, got you inspired, got you... What's one thing? We can go, yeah.
We're going deep. That's me.
I think one thing that's been hitting me lately is the power of like discipline. That's something I've been thinking
Keep
about
going,
a
yeah,
lot.
I like that.
I had a really good conversation with one of my friends from Under the Influence, Wu Talk. We had a very good talk, and he kind of just walked me through how like you're kind of in like life. It's kind of like a chess game. You only have a certain amount of pieces,
Yeah.
and with what you do with those pieces will like show you the outcome of your life. And I think I learned from them and some of my other friends that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Discipline is the key to everything. Even like you have true power if you have discipline, because it's doing things even when you don't want to do it. When you have no power, no energy, and you can still do it. That's incredible.
And that's what content is. Because I'm like, you have to do
Yeah.
it even when you're like, I don't know what to do.
One piece at a time, right? One step at a time.
How many of you like are religious or believe in a higher
I'm
power?
super religious, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's that done for you? Because I feel like religion and discipline kind of go hand in hand.
Honestly, I think for me, it's like I have to have a purpose to do it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to just make content to make content and it's just entertainment. There has to be something I give back. You know what I mean? Like it can't just be like bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
And so what is that thing? Like,
so for me, it's really just opening your mind. Like, because when you see
when
Jumpers
you say
Jump,
when you say opening your mind, you mean opening the audience's mind?
yeah.
Okay.
So as you watch Jumpers Jump,
What-
I don't want it
what's
to just
Jumpers
be like,
Jump?
That's our podcast.
I've never heard of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm imagining.
10 million
These are all
followers,
more-
whatever.
Yeah, but like when you watch Jumpers Jump, some people just see it as just jokes, as entertainment. But the goal I really have is just to make people realize you can think in these weird ways and you don't have to be afraid of like thinking like that. And just to promote it that, yo, you don't have to think so boxed in, like everything is as is. You can really deep it and you shouldn't be afraid to deep your life and make it like a main character moment for you.
Yeah. So what's something for any one of you, then on that, what's something that you grew up thinking that like kind of boxed you in that you've now jumped out of? Well, let's go
I think
now.
for me it was like finding your one thing and your passion. I'm like a very multi-passionate person, and I was just always like, hey, it's got to be around the corner. It's got to be around the corner. And then I would get bored doing things, and being able to build that into like the way I run a business now, and
respect.
like knowing I'm going to be bored and also being okay with that, and being like, okay, so how do we create something that sustains that keeps me excited, and just accepting like there's not one thing you have to do with your life.
Sorry.
No, go.
For me, it was that we had to go to school. Like, you have to go to university. So my whole entire life, I'm like, okay, if I don't go to university, I'm a failure. What do I do? And then telling my parents that I'm gonna like quit working, I'm not going to university, and I'm gonna move out to do content. My dad almost had a heart attack. He's like, what do you mean you're gonna do this? So I think like growing up, thinking that if I didn't go to university, I was a failure, was just like really hard on my mind all the time. And then I'm like, do I do content? Do I not? I don't want to disappoint people. But I don't know. I didn't go to uni, and I'm happy.
It's wild how I think I'm the oldest out of all of you, or like maybe me and you are like close-ish.
You don't look a day over
We're
20.
close-ish. But yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate you. But it's the idea that school is so much more valuable once you have perspective. You want the charger? Okay. But I think school is so much more valuable once you have perspective. Like you go, I remember I was in accounting in school, and then
Me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Wait, Gavin, you did accounting? Yo,
Honestly, yo,
that's
love it.
crazy.
I feel like we got it. We got to
What
create
a waste
club.
of our time.
Yeah.
The biggest waste of our
Yeah,
time.
facts. But I remember studying in school, not understanding what the fuck was going on, and then you went out into the world in the summer and worked for a couple months, and I was like, the fuck, this is like, no, this makes sense. Like, why didn't this make sense when I was studying 7-8 hours a day? But you need to build your own perspective, and then you go back into school. Like, I bet you if you go back to school, if you go to school in like 5 years, you might actually find so much value in it because you've lived so much.
And I feel like if you take a break, then you like actually go to school for what you want.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah,
like
'cause-
if I jumped right into school, I'm like, yeah, I would be doing something I definitely do not like.
I'm back in school right now, but I'm only doing one class. I'm doing ASL classes because that's something I wanted to do. Like, I genuinely enjoy learning it.
Because right
But,
out
like,
of high school, like, we don't know what the fuck we want to
you
do
just
right
go because you're
away.
like, this is what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do.
Like, we get so many influences from our parents, from like just society. Like, yo, you should do this to get a lot of money. But is that really what my heart's telling me? Is that my dream? You know what I mean?
Gavin, Brianna, what do you guys think?
See, my experience was I applied for college and university just to keep my parents happy, but I was doing YouTube on the side. And then I basically, once I got accepted, I was like, oh no, what do I do? And I basically told my parents, give me a year, see if I can make YouTube work. And I got 100,000 subscribers, I think, in like the year. And I was making money. And I was like, okay, wait, guys, I think this is working. And yeah, I haven't gone to school at all. I've just been doing that since.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm pro school though, so for if any kids are watching, no. Listen. It's very hard. Like, everyone has a purpose. If your purpose is not being an influencer, that's not your purpose. You like, school is still good because you have an option, right? So like my dad told me, oh, not a lot of people are built for this life, but if you truly believe it, go ahead. But if you don't, stay in school.
Us talking about school right now feels like that TikTok when it was the hype house being like, yeah, we make 24 TikToks a day. That's 297,000 videos a year. They were talking about it. It was like Addison Rae, and she's saying like, yeah, no school.
Well, they're like, don't go to school, drop out.
Go to school if you know what to do.
Honestly,
Wasting your time.
Listen.
Useless degree.
We all have one life.
Go to school.
We all have one life, and we all have a dream. Do you want to die and not achieve your dream?
Okay. Oh, here's a question. Does everyone have a dream? Because, you know, like the typical question when you go into a job interview, it's like, what's your dream job? Or like, what's your dream in 10, 15 years? I'd say I'm an insanely passionate person. I can't tell you. I feel like I'm like Mal. Like, there's so many things that will make up my life. I don't have a dream.
You know what? I think it's a journey to find that though. And then the moment you do find it, that's when you really start living.
Okay, part of me feels like though when you set like a dream goal or whatever, once you achieve it, you're gonna be less motivated in your life to do better.
That's the reaction.
Literally. You make a bucket list, and then you're like, wait, shit, I did everything. What do I do now?
So you have to
And then you, like,
revamp it. You gotta like
Yeah.
update it.
That's why, like, every 6 months you gotta manifest more, write down more
you
things.
gotta manifest
so I feel like
more.
I have a dream for 6 months, and then
I like that.
once you manifest it and you get it done, then you have new dreams.
I don't think you should have an ultimate dream, but you should have goals you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Like constantly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I started shifting to focusing on like a feeling, like how do I want to feel in 5 years, because that could be making content, that could be
Facts.
entirely offline, right? But
Thousand.
it's more focused on like what do I want to, like when I ask people a lot this in their businesses, like when you wake up, do you want to be the person that's like leading a team of 20, or like do you just want to feel really at peace? And feeling at peace could be leading that team, or it could be like I'm in the woods off Wi-Fi, right? So just like that feeling, because sometimes you're right, we get the tangible goals, and then every time you do it, it's like you're chasing the dopamine hits, right? Of like, oh, I did that thing, and every time you get closer, it feels less like of a milestone too.
And then it reaches this point where it's like, you write, okay, my goal, my biggest dream is to have 1 million followers. And then when you reach that, you're like, oh, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. I need more. So it gets to a point where, like, writing your goals, you have to think about the feeling and how it makes you feel, or else you're just trying to like chase numbers and nothing will ever make you happy. Because there's someone else always has more than you. Someone else is always more successful than you. Someone else is like better than you.
Also, I feel like people think that once they achieve their dream or their goal, that all their problems are gonna go away and life's just gonna be perfect.
You have new problems now.
You get there and you're like, wait.
You know the Jim Carrey quote?
No.
Have you heard of Jim Carrey? One of my favorite quotes. He goes like, it's something along the lines of, I wish everyone got the opportunity to achieve their dreams so early on to realize it wasn't the thing that was going to make you happy. Because here was someone that was the top of the game. He had literally everything, and he falls down. It's like it's typical, like tons of depression. You don't know what you're doing with your life, and it's so true. I almost wish we could create a pill to like allow you to touch that dream, and you're like, all right, cool, it's actually kind of done. It's like, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah, you can like see in the future.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I think especially.
Are you? By the way, are you guys like really close? Yeah. Do you run a Do you run a podcast together at all? We do not. You got. I feel like you.
Do you see the matching outfits, the vibes that we have?
I do, but I feel like you guys should run. You guys should do something. Genuinely, you guys vibe so well off each other.
Really? Really? Wait, really?
I actually can't stand her.
Cancel culture, baby.
We're just pretending for the camera right now. Yeah. This is all acting.
This is what people think though. On social media, we don't see each other for like a week, and people are like, okay, Spencer hates Sahar. They're beefing. They hate each other.
Guys, we do hate each other. That is a confirmed rumor. Yes.
Sorry, I interrupted on like some random ass tangent. Life
is
life
on the podcast all the time. Life is lifing.
Life is okay.
For real.
For a lot of you guys here,
it's all good.
You genuinely are really, really successful and have seen a ton. No, you're welcome. and have seen a ton and have achieved a ton. What happened when you reached that like dream or that goal?
Brianna, Gavin?
How did you deal with it? And like, how did you deal with it? And then how did you get to that? Okay, like let's reset and go to the next thing. Like, what was that process?
Wait, sorry, you start. I didn't hear that one.
Say it again first.
When you reached that dream that you thought like would take you whatever 30, 40 years, you reached it. It was successful, and then you realized, wait, shit, what do I do now? Like, what went through your head? How did you get out of that? How did you then reconstruct your life so that you can continue building towards whatever that thing is?
I feel like you always just need to be kind of change. Like once you achieve something, you kind of change lanes and you find your new thing. And I feel like you just need something to be excited about at all times. And maybe sometimes you don't know what that is, and it'll take you a little while to figure out what that is and figure out your direction. But I feel like it's always just important to have something that you're excited about and working towards.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. We got into the game, and we weren't really worried about numbers because we knew we were gonna get that number. So my dream was, our dream was to make sure at least one kid out there takes what we say and puts it in a positive way and spreads that. You know, I could die tomorrow, that's fine, because I inspired one kid. That was my dream. So that's what keeps me going. Not no numbers. I know we're at a creator event, but F all the numbers, you know? I don't care about
respect.
I don't know if this is like an unpopular thought, but like for me, when I kind of was like hitting my peak, it was really bad on my mental health, like really bad, because I felt like I got everything I wanted, but I still wasn't happy the way I thought I would be. So I feel like I had to find happiness in more like traditional like core values and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have a purpose for your content.
Like that was the moment I realized I was like, I'm like, these goals are never gonna be the source of my happiness. I have to find it another way. Like, because people look at us and think, oh my gosh, their lives are so amazing. They're making money from posting videos. They're going to events, meeting people, doing all this stuff, traveling, whatever. But it's like when it's actually you in that position, you guys are like, I'm still not happy. I'm doing everything that people would be happy to do, and I'm still not
Facts.
feeling it. So it's low-key really bad on my mental health, and then I had to find like other ways, to, like, you know.
Because it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm making content to get this views or like this amount of views, this amount of subscribers. It should be, I'm making this content because I want these people to hear this.
And it feels like authentic to me.
Yeah,
like,
and make
this
them
feels true to
affected
who I
that
am.
way.
Chills from you talking about that.
Oh yeah. Did that hit?
Like, that's how it feels.
Right? Because I remember when I was like really starting up, I was thinking like, when I hit 1 million on TikTok, I'm gonna be happy. When I hit 100K on Instagram, I'm gonna be happy. When I get the 100K YouTube plaque, I'm gonna be happy. Then all these things kept happening, and I still wasn't happy. And then that's like, will nothing make me happy? Why is this not making me happy? And it was just like, okay. Yeah.
And I feel like what people don't realize is so my goal is like to have so many followers. Once you get there, there's so many more issues. Me and Sahar always talk about this. Once you have a bigger following, more people are out to get you, and more people want to see you do bad. So you're just trying to be happy and keep going, but then everything you do, I'm like, am I going to get canceled? Is somebody going to take this the wrong way? It's like my biggest fear in the entire world.
You know the Drake lyric that's like more money, more problems? It's like more clout, more problems.
I don't think it's Drake. It's not as
Is
the
it not?
as the
More
old heads.
money, more
It's not. It's
problems.
not Drake.
It is Drake.
It's Drake.
It's
It was
big.
more Drake?
More
It's-
money,
it's
more
Ma- it's-
problems.
It's
Bring on the
Mace,
problems.
It's Mace, Diddy, and Biggie.
Oh,
Well, Drake
oh, my
said-
bad. We're
Okay.
2000s kids.
Bro,
Listen, we are
watch
Gen
your-
Z.
Yo, are we all 2000? We're 2000, 2000?
You might be.
We're not 2000? 2002?
Y'all might be some
2000,
old millennials,
2000,
but
2000.
we know the Gen Z. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh,
I teased out
no,
of
no,
love.
that's all good. That's all good. Close enough. Yeah.
I
The
thought
fu-
y'all would
the
laugh
fu-
at you. I got like so quiet. I was like, shit.
The funniest thing was like,
I'm thinking this. I was like, more money,
Drake for
more
us. It's
problems.
Drake for us.
Bring on the problems. Bring on the problems. That's what I'm thinking about. But when I really, not just the money sense, but like in general, like clout and like the more your life seems like it's getting better. Like there's so many problems that you don't realize until you are there.
yeah.
It's like when you were talking about the 1 million, then you're like 2. It's like at one point you think 2 million will make me twice as happy, and then it starts creeping in, and you're like, oh, it's not going that direction, right? It's like you need something else to fuel you.
I decided to just gaslight myself, and like I still pretend in my head that I only have like 1 million, which is so many. But in my head, when I open my phone, I'm like, wait, 8? What's going on? Because I've just gaslit myself to being the 1 million. That's all you care. That's all you need. That's all everything. Because if you just keep chasing this number that you may get or you might not
Yeah.
get, you'll just never be happy because it's just a number.
I think it's why I think there's a real case to build some tool that you include on all social media, and it just takes away all the metrics you want. Like you can essentially put in what you want and like wipe out what you don't. Like if you don't want to see views, if you don't want to see likes, if you don't want to see followers, doesn't matter. And you can.
The way we scream about our views sometimes, we're like, what?
We were projectile vomiting before I'm coming to this
Today-
because of our views.
I
Yes.
was like, I can't post that. It's not gonna do it. It's gonna. People are gonna get mad. It's not gonna do good.
Bree, do you-
we complicate life. It could be so simple. Like
Yeah.
we wake up.
Do y'all
and
feel
it's
that?
sunny.
Do you guys
we
relate
could be
to
happy
that?
'cause it's that? Huh?
Do you guys relate to that where you feel like you reach milestones, you're like, damn, it's not doing what I thought it would?
Not really.
Oh. Okay, healthy.
We don't look at
Okay, not
milestones. We
toxic.
didn't celebrate 10
Okay,
mil.
no
We didn't
depression.
celebrate 1 mil.
Yeah.
That's it's the kids that matter.
Did you not just do a Project X party?
No, but that was
That was for them.
That was for them.
That was for them because we invited like our fans, our
whatever.
supporters.
Bree, how about you? Did you feel like you related to that at all?
Sorry, I can't hear very
You
well
can't
over
hear
here.
Did you feel like when you were achieving certain things you were achieving, it just wasn't what you expected, and that like
Oh, it's so different. Like when I was like a fan of YouTube, watching YouTube, anyone with 1 million subscribers, I was like, oh, they own a mansion, like they're so happy. And then I hit 1 million, and I was living with my mom still.
I remember always thinking that, and you know how they say like comparison is the thief of joy? It's so true, but I always felt like I would always be like, they're probably so happy. Look at their life. They have followers. They do this.
You
blah, blah.
can't
I'm
compete
like,
with them,
they're
bro.
So happy.
You gotta
They're
compete
not.
with yourself.
They're not.
Only compete with yourself. Don't look at anybody
okay. I don't
else
wanna-
because there's
yeah,
only
that's
one
fair.
you.
Like,
There's
you
only
should know
one
you.
creator
I feel
that
like
you're
you-
making that content. Don't compete with anyone else.
So we have a king over here.
Real one.
Good people always win. Good people always win.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
will be
this
blessed.
year I did a really interesting thing where I kind of found I was feeling envious of the people that were like starting, like it was like their side hustle, they had a full-time job. And I just went back to like, okay, if I had no business related to this, like what would I want to be sharing? What message do I want to get out? Instead of that background of like, okay, how is it tied to this like funnel or this bigger thing? And just going back to like, if I was side hustling hustling, starting content all over again, what would I share? And then that's what I started sharing. And then this year, like, then the numbers came from it too. Like, it really started blowing up, and it just was coming back to that root of like, I wasn't doing it for views. I was like, what do I really
like
share with the world again? And then you feel the difference, you know?
I genuinely think I would post so much more if there weren't views that I could see or that other people could see, because there's things that I want to post and I'm like, no, I'm gonna be so embarrassed if it like does like badly. But I would post all the time if I didn't care about that.
Do it.
Just do it. Like,
I know.
That's something I've been doing lately. My views, garbage. Like
That's what I'm
embarrassing.
scared of.
Like literally
Okay,
down the
honestly, I
toilet.
started posting more, my views went way down.
I don't know what it is. They don't want us to win.
They
That's
don't want
what
us
it
to
no,
is.
you gotta
They
find
don't
like
want
the
to be
Don't
perfect
quote
balance
DJ
of-
Khaled.
okay,
Don't
listen.
quote DJ
They
Khaled.
don't want us to win. TikTok does not want us to win.
God did.
But what I'm doing is, even if the views are embarrassing, I'm posting what feels authentic to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to switch this, and I want to ask about. I want to ask about creator events, like going to brand events, going to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, is it worth it? Like, is it fun?
I
It's
love
fun.
events.
Why?
Honestly, a lot of my creative
Hit or
friends
miss.
that I know, I met them at influencer
Really?
events. Yeah.
What's
Like
the
some
myth?
events have mean girls, and it can be really scary. 'Cause sometimes when you go to an event, it feels like high school, and like it can be really intimidating. Or events that, this is my opinion at least, events that invite you and don't give you a +1. That's so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say right here, beauty events. Beauty events is where the mean girls are at. Okay, I said it. It's high school all over again.
It's terrifying.
Okay, please keep inviting me to beauty events because I'm not one of the mean ones. I am one of the. I'm one of the nice ones. So if anything, y'all should take other people out, but keep me there.
I love how Sahar thinks that like this podcast has like millions of views.
To the
No
three
one
people-
watches this.
Every brand deal.
To the one person who has some contact to a company, please do not.
To
tell
my
them I
VP
said
of
that.
marketing who's watching this to make sure the content's
VP of
good.
marketing,
Yeah.
please keep inviting me to #paid events, please. This is not beauty. I swear, I'm nice here.
Okay, but it's interesting because I've heard so much, and I think like why I was so excited about this, be it that I'm from Toronto, there's so many dope Toronto creatives and creators,
We are.
but everyone's in their own fucking shell.
Because nobody wants to collab for some reason in Toronto. It's
Why,
like so.
man?
Toronto is screw face. Like
Yeah,
you don't
why?
get.
They're
It's,
right.
it's known as a
It-
screw face
so,
city.
It's so like
What do we gotta do?
competitive.
What do we gotta do to change this?
And like
collab?
Collab. That's it. Yeah.
Run more in-person pods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did collab. We
collab.
collab.
We're changing the culture right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We collab
This
all the time.
this whole set right here. Oh my
collab.
god.
Let's do
This
it.
history
Toronto,
right here.
Toronto hasn't seen that before.
This is the most healthy Toronto creator set.
I
you'll
know.
ever
I was
see
gonna
in
say
your life.
like this conversation has just made me like I could sit back. I was just smiling the whole time. Like if you just have a cam, I'm gonna zoom in and just have my face and just. It's just gonna be like a nice smile, being like, "Yo, you guys
How
are."
do we watch this. I want to see it.
No, it's gonna be posted. We'll have fun.
We love it.
We'll have fun. Okay, feeling like high school. I think it's super important. What do you do to combat that? Like, how do you find your people at events? Do you just have to be a warrior and just like bounce until you find the right people? Is there a
Yo,
strategy?
So, I remember I saw this podcast and they were talking about like the Drake and the Kanye effect. So when Drake walks into a room,
this feels like a Jumpers pod where you,
Yeah.
and Gavin's like, "Whoa, no, what? Tell me about it."
it's a theory. So when Drake walks into a room, he kind of forms into the room. Like he becomes the room.
Okay.
Like in the sense of like, I'm gonna relate to them. And you can see it with his music. His flow always changes
Sure.
to whatever trend's coming out. Kanye walks into a room, he's still Kanye. He's still Kanye and makes the room allow Kanye. You know what I mean? Even if they don't like it, they gotta allow him because that's who he is. So in my opinion, that approach of being yourself no matter what, like don't change because these other people are acting that way, that's the true character that stands out because you get lost in the sea of creators when everybody's the same.
Exactly.
Wow, that was so poetic, Carlos. Good job.
Thank you.
A life lesson here.
Thank you.
Write it down. Someone make it a book.
Clip that.
Give me some horror stories. Give me some influencer event horror stories.
Horror stories.
Okay.
You don't have to name names or like companies.
Sahar,
or
you got
wherever,
this.
but
Oh, you want
I
to
will
see
say,
yo?
every single one of my favorite influencers were really mean, and I don't like them anymore. And now I don't have favorite influencers because they all were so mean to me.
for real.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. It's okay. It is what it is.
You
But
for-
it's don't meet your heroes.
Are you for real on that?
Yeah.
Like going up to, like you went up to them really giddy, really excited.
And
just,
like
shut you down?
Yeah, so this one girl, for example, I was a really big fan of her. It was my first time in LA. I was so excited to meet her, and I told everyone this is the one girl I wanted to meet because she was so funny and like herself, like very authentic to who she was. So I was like, I love this girl. And we made some friends that were friends with her. Then we ended up going to some like club or something. She was there, and we were like all in the same booth. So I go up to her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your videos. And she's like, thanks. And then I was like, I'm Sahar, nice to meet you. And then she's like, hi. She literally like, stick your hand out. She goes,
That's crazy.
and then she just like, no, she literally, I swear she might have wiped her hand after. Like it was, I felt like, I was like, do you think I'm carrying some deadly disease? Because that's what it sounded like. And I was like, I hate you now. Never
Damn.
speak to me ever again.
Damn.
It will never happen to her again.
I went to an influencer event before, and it was, I never really go to events because I don't live in Toronto, so it's like a trek to get here. And I went to one, and I didn't even speak to the girl. I didn't look at her, we didn't talk, we didn't anything. And then when I left, I had noticed that she had blocked me on everything.
Oh.
Just randomly, literally blocked me on everything.
Wow.
And then through mutuals, I had heard that she said that I was like rude and looked at her funny. And I'm not like that at all. Like, I'm just like,
I think she was just mad that you didn't kiss her ass, okay? That's what she was pissed
That's
about.
probably what it was.
but I'm like, she blocked me. And also, this girl's like over 30 years old. And at this time, I think I was 18. So I'm like, oh, why does this 35-year-old girl
Because you're taking
hate
her
me?
place.
I was
You're-
so
you're
nervous.
You're the fresh talent, and then you're taking her spot.
But like block me on everything. I was like, I did nothing. She okay, and then once I started gaining followers, she unblocked me on everything.
Word.
I was like, wait, this is weird. And we have kind of similar content a little bit,
got you.
where it's very like, very girls like loving girls, and
Yeah.
I'm super supportive of all girls.
That was not giving girls loving girls.
no blocking me.
our
I'm like, we
brand.
didn't even talk. So then I just was like, did I do something wrong? But it's a lot of just projection, like you said. Like,
Spencer, she's the most sweet, like angelic little girl. Like if she walks into a room, you could just tell she's nice. So she was just mad that you didn't go up to her and fucking lick her foot in front of everyone.
nervous.
Yeah, exactly. She's perfect. And if this girl's gonna block her for that, sorry that she's not kissing your ass. She doesn't have to do that.
this is the bestie who goes crazy over everything. I'll say something, she's like,
She's gonna be nice about it. I'll be insane about it.
yeah, this is a crazy bestie.
I think the best moment for me is where I go up and I talk with someone, and I know I'm in and around creators, but I don't know who I'm talking to. And you just have like a human conversation, and then you leave, and someone's like, dude, you realize that like X person was at the party? And I was like, yeah, who's that? And they show you a photo, and I'm like, oh, yo, we had like dope conversation.
It's genuine. It's it's just real.
That was like the last thing on that is I met like J. Cole's one of my favorite artists, and I was
You
in,
met J. Cole?
but like in a weird way.
Shut up!
I
You
was-
met J. Cole?
Listen to this. I went to an early premiere of like an early filming of Nope. You know Jordan Peele's movie
Yeah.
Nope in New York in July on a Monday night at 10. Like finished at 10 o'clock. I'm walking out the theater. I'm about to go down the escalator. I turn to my left and he's right there. And
I would throw up.
and I was like, hey man, like big fan. Like I went to your game in Scarborough. Like I was sitting there.
I was at that too.
Yeah?
I was,
No,
yeah,
me and
love,
you.
wow.
And so he goes like, oh, like love, and walks away. And I was like, man, like how? I respect. He's a human. Like he's dealing with so much. I'm one out of like millions. But since I knew it was Cole, like my heart was going. I was like, I'm not myself. I don't know what the fuck to say. Like, do I say hi? But when you don't know who that person is, like if I didn't know
just
who he
say, yeah,
was,
what's
I'd be
up?
like, yeah, your hair looks kind of cool. What's up, man? And you'd be like, oh, thanks, dude. And then someone's like, yo, that was cool. And I'd be like, oh, wow, cool guy. It's so weird how like that small perception of ourselves, like we put that into our mind, like, fuck Sahara, hey, how are you doing today?
I was so confident and sweet about it. She was just annoying. She hates. I've heard from other creators, this specific creator, she's always mean to girls.
Weird.
She only likes guys. I don't know what it is.
Weird.
I know the creator.
Competition.
Have you
Girls
guys-
are like that.
I know the creator you're talking about, and I've heard multiple people say the same thing.
Damn.
Have you
Wait,
guys
wait.
After.
have you guys had any experiences with like mean creators at all?
Has there been a creator that's come on the pod?
Sorry?
Has there been a creator or someone that's come on the podcast or that you've gone on their podcast and the expectation was like, man, you're so fucking excited, and it was just like a dud. And
No,
they're
you know
like,
what? We had the opposite. Like they were exactly
Wow.
they're exactly like their content.
Sick.
Cause we collabed with Just Kidding Films
Nice.
and Timothy Delgado,
Cool.
and we had them on the podcast. And yo, they're my childhood heroes. They got me into content creating.
No way.
And they were really just exactly who they are online.
That's crazy.
And I love that because that's what we try and do. Like anytime you hear me talk, I talk the exact same on TikTok,
Yeah.
on YouTube, in person. Like I'm the same person.
Yeah.
And like every celebrity we've had on, has done worse when we just have our friends on.
Yeah, it's
that's
the
how you know it's
chemistry.
crazy, because we have more chemistry with our friends than someone who has 5 million followers. You know.
1,000%.
You know?
Damn, this has been.
Yeah.
I'm very fucking excited to keep watching this. Well, not keep watching it, but to like watch it after.
I'm gonna lie.
So
I've been to
excited to
many
watch
events. This is probably my favorite part.
Damn, appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
No, I
Never
think
seen
You're a
this
great
event.
host. You're a great host.
This is
Appreciate
dope.
you guys.
This is a
No,
good
I-
idea for an event.
I think it's the coolest thing is it's not to capture like big influencers and big creators and big marketers. It's like the panel before the conversation before this, 2 people came in and they're like, yo, can we jump on the mic? Like we've been talking about something and like we really want to talk about it. And then we pulled 2 other people that they told me what they were talking about. I pulled 2 people that I knew like would resonate with the topic. Yo, like they were just going at it. And then like our first 10, 15 minutes here, oh, you guys were vibing with each other, like
Yeah.
throwing stuff back and forth, energy. Like it's cool because you just got to translate the feeling of like meeting and having good conversation compared to being like, oh, clouded conversation. Like, let me ask you a deep question, or like, let me ask you about your fame and your success. You guys are all fucking crazy with it.
I'm so excited to watch this.
Me too.
Yeah, I really want to watch this.
Me too. We're gonna end with a little Ox
That's
Wars.
my game.
A
A
That's
little
my
Ox
game.
Wars for the
Hello.
boys.
Yeah.
Buy oxwars.shop.
Yeah, and we're
Go,
actually
go,
going to give
go.
everyone here, not you guys because you already have Ox Wars, but we're going to give everyone here Ox Wars to take home. We're going to play with it right now. Here's what happens. We're going to give you a scenario, and then you're going to have to say a song that like relates or connects you to that scenario. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, yeah.
No, you have
We're
to
gonna
sing
sing
and
it.
dance.
We're
Okay.
singing.
You gotta perform it.
Here we go. I'm going to start with Gavin.
Okay.
Gavin, your city just won the NBA championship.
Oh, easy.
What song are you playing during the ring ceremony?
Hey, shout out Drake. Trophies. Come on, man.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a good one.
easy.
That's a
That's
good one.
easy.
That was a
Okay.
good one.
We're going down the line.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
You're lost in the wilderness, and you have an MP3 player. What even is an MP3 player? Play a song to keep you alive.
To keep me alive. Oh my God. So it's definitely gonna be Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Yes,
Of
big
course.
bird.
Wilderness, Taylor Swift.
Now I gotta narrow it down. If I'm in the wilderness, you know what? Let's go with Willow. Oh, out of the woods. Honestly, okay. I don't like that song as much though. I like Willow's more. I like Willow's more.
Ooh. Ooh. Ready?
You got one for me?
I got one for
a good
you.
one?
Carlos, you should know these.
Crush leaves you unread.
Oh.
R bombs you. Play a song to fit the mood.
Oh, damn.
All too well.
Yo. Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room. Shout out
They're,
Drake.
like, they're repping Toronto so hard right now.
Spencer Barbosa. You ready?
I'm ready.
It's fight night. What's your walkout song as you approach the ring? Like, what's getting you hype?
I love that card.
I only listen to Taylor Swift, so it's definitely gonna be Taylor Swift.
Everyone here loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I feel like it would probably be like, "Look What You Made Me Do," and I would walk out and just be like so sassy, be like, "Reputation." That would be me.
Love it. Sahar. Your life is a rom-com, and you're chasing your true love down the city street.
This is so good for Sahar.
What song is playing for this scene?
Say it one more time.
Yeah. Your life is a rom-com, and you're chasing your true love down the city street. What song is playing for the scene?
Enchanted by Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
I thought maybe it would be very first night.
It's either or, but if I'm chasing, Enchanted is sounding more correct because it had happened.
All right. All right. Last we got Mao. House is a mess, Mao. It's spring cleaning. What song are you playing for your cleaning montage?
I feel like I have to throw back, especially for us.
Yeah.
But not all the way, but like a Kesha, you
Ooh.
know, like a
Oh.
TikTok or
Wait,
something. You
Kesha?
know? Like, yeah, you got it.
throwback when
You have to,
Yo.
otherwise it's just work.
I haven't heard Kesha in a while. I'm gonna have to play that later.
Kesha.
She's like Kesha.
I was like,
Wake
please
up in
no.
the morning feeling like P Diddy.
I love OG Kesha.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, OG song. Like, maybe like TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if you know her. I don't know if it's her last one. I think she's still doing stuff, but Praying, which was after all her stuff.
Don't know.
Oh, she hits the. Okay, it's very different for Kesha.
We gotta listen.
Yeah.
You
It's
say
like
she
crazy
eats?
notes.
Is that a saying? I've heard you. I like that. No, tell me about that. She eats meaning like what?
Yeah, she eats, she ate.
Gotcha. Ate it, I know, but like she
I'm like,
eats.
I
I
don't
was.
know you anymore.
Yeah. I'm fucking over here.
Ate it.
It's the transition.
She ate just means like she did very well.
Cool.
She's slaying.
You know?
Before someone commented that on one of my posts, and my mom read it, and they thought they were saying that I'm eating too much.
Oh my
And
god.
my mom commented back and was like, "How could you say this about my daughter?" Because said she eats. I'm like, "Mom, they're hyping me up." But my mom thought they were being like, "Yeah, like she's eating too much." Yeah.
I want to point out the first time I discovered Kesha, it was because people on like YouTube were saying that she was like a drugged out Taylor Swift.
Really?
I mean, yeah, okay, was that not
Wow.
appropriate to say? Why didn't
No,
anybody
no, no.
react to that?
You got
That
quiet.
was
You got real quiet.
No, anything's appropriate. I just didn't. I didn't.
No,
I
do you guys
didn't
not remember
Her
seeing the
songs
memes?
are so different.
No, just like because she was like blonde and you know.
Oh, so just look
Like,
wise.
yeah, and it was like she
okay,
would
if
sing
it's
about
just look
drugs.
wise, I see it. They
See?
have the crimpy hair.
Yeah.
They both have that
True,
going
yeah.
on.
But Kesha, we stand, we love. That was an old joke 10 years ago. I'm not saying that right now. I loved praying.
Sahar doing her
Man,
apology video.
My favorite.
I'm so sorry.
My favorite Sahar is like talking to the cameras if like Kesha's actually gonna be watching this.
Kesha stands.
Sahar thinks everyone's watching.
I'm a narcissist, so I do think everybody's watching.
Narcissist, yo.
Squad here, absolute pleasure. You all are awesome. I love this energy. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for answering.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
having
doing
us.
your
Thank you
thing.
for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
And hopefully we can do this sometime again soon.